Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen, believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Welcome to the show. It is June 1st, 2011. I'm your host, Popeye, from federaljack.com. And before I go any further, I will answer the tons of email and questions I've gotten on Facebook and Twitter right here, right now. Yes, the site has been down for 4 days. We had a server problem. We had a major catastrophic failure. We are fixing it. Hopefully it'll be back up tonight. If not, it'll be back up tomorrow. So I hope that answers the hundreds of emails that I've literally been getting over the course of the first day. Was I got a couple, hey, are you okay? But after it was down for 24 hours, I started getting slammed. So I just wanted to let everybody know I don't have time to email everybody back. So it's just easier to address it right here on the radio right now. We'll be back up hopefully tonight, by tomorrow, I'm told, without a doubt. So fingers crossed. But we will be back, and we didn't lose the info, any of our information, so we should be good to go. Tonight, I'm joined by a good friend of mine who just happens to be a very well-rounded investigator and have his own website that's like Federal Jack on crack, you know, and he teams up with a few other guys, but it's mainly him and one other guy named Alex that, you know, are at the helm, and they do a hell of a job over at the Intel Hub. So check out their website, theintelhub.com. But tonight I'm joined by none other than Mr. Shepard Ambellas. Shepard, say hello.
Absolutely. How's it going, Popeye? What have you been up to?
Trying to recover my site.
I know. I heard about that. I'm worried. I was wondering where my Federal Jack is.
We're okay. We'll be back stronger than ever. I promise.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can't predict it. There's nothing you can do, and when it happens, it just goes. And you know, I don't have to tell you. You know, you're the director of the Intel Hub. How many times do you guys have? You know, you guys will have an issue, and it's like, ugh, You know, and then when it's something small, it's very easily fixed. You're back online within a few minutes. But when it's something catastrophic and major, that's usually, you know, that's and it's always when, you know, at the wrong times. You know, I mean, there's never really a good time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. It always happens at the wrong time.
It never happens at a convenient time, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, you know, I was watching the mainstream today. They got this Wiener guy on there, and you know, he's supposedly
question.
Yeah. He supposedly, you know, maybe got hacked or he twittered, whatever. Who knows? But you know, I was just weighing in on it, looking at it, and total distraction, total psyop on the media's part, because today, of course, you know, they were working on the debt ceiling, all this stuff, and it wasn't getting any coverage on the media. I mean, one of the biggest issues, just nothing, totally blank, and I just thought it was funny watching the psyop unfold and how, you know, that's what we're focused on rather than one of the most important issues, our country itself.
Yeah, man, it's completely fake. It's ridiculous. Who cares if Wiener sent a picture of his wiener to some 20-something-year-old chick? It's not. He didn't break the law. You know, if he's married, then you know, and he did it, then that's his wife's problem. That's not your problem.
Sure.
You know, you can't be held accountable. You know, he can't be held accountable in a public way like that. I mean, he can. The media will do it, but you really can't with like if your eyes are open, you see that that's a distraction. Like that's who cares. You can't press the guy in court. He can't go to court. He can't get arrested for it. Who cares if he sent a picture of his Johnson to some girl? Good. Maybe he gets laid. Good for him. I mean, really, do you care if Congressman Wiener gets laid? I know I don't care.
It really, it doesn't affect me. And you know, furthermore, he is right when he addressed that, you know, he feels like they shouldn't really focus on it, and he just needs to do his job. And they keep, you know, they just kept probing him for questions. I mean, how ridiculous. Just kept the whole thing going. I don't know. It's just like a soap opera that never ends now, Popeye.
Well, you know, you got the PSYOP, the Bin Laden PSYOP. Now you have you have this crap because it's a distraction. You know, and the Bin Laden thing covers a drastic. It's like an umbrella. There's multiple reasons why it would be used, but think about what it took away from the fact that we committed a war crime earlier that day by killing Gaddafi's son and his grandkids. Okay, no one. That was like the hot button thing, and all of a sudden now no one could give a crap about it. It's not even talked about. It's we got Bin Laden. That was smoothed over. Same thing. You get the debt ceiling and all this crap, and they're talking about Wiener's wiener. Who cares?
Yeah, and the PSYOP continues. Did you hear about this article? It's posted at the Intel Hub, but you know, about 1.5 million Americans who happen to be medical marijuana users have now fallen into another government trap. This $6.2 billion a year market that actually logs marijuana users now into a database upon issuance of their medical card, and it's all under the, it's all hidden as a privilege, and essentially, they want to thumb scan purchasers now in medical venues. They're getting all this set up behind the scenes. There's documentation on it. I mean, they say they need to track this stuff, but really they're trying to track the person and the user. So I thought it was pretty interesting. We posted an article on it today at the Intel Hub.
Of course. And, that's one of the biggest complaints about by these medical marijuana patients is that they don't want to have you don't want to have a database built up of, you know, hey, Bob Smith lives at.
Mm-hmm.
The DEA to come kicking in your door for no reason because they say, hey, you know, there's no federal law, and, you know, we won't bust the dispensaries. We'll go after each individual user and prosecute each individual user. I mean, that's the kind of stuff the government will definitely do. All right, Shep, we're going to break. We'll be right back. Listeners, stay tuned. Shepard's hanging out with me for the whole hour. We'll be right back. This is Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Popeye.
What you did that day, kill your own citizens to advance your ways. All my real patriots stand up and say 9/11 was an inside job. They lie, they scam, they cheat and steal. They plot, they fund, they act, it's real. Right. They watch, they hunt, they punish, and we're not gonna take it anymore.
Well, back.
We've got the right to choose it.
I'm Popeye from FederalJack.com, and today I'm joined by my good friend Shepard Ambellas from the Intel Hub.
Yep, that's right.
Shep, you were talking about the crazy weather during the...
Oh, yeah. I've been getting calls from, you know, just friends of mine around the country just saying strange things. You know, they're just, the weather's just acting suspicious. And, you know, even where I live, it's been doing weird stuff. I was talking with Michael Murphy. I was telling him how it was snowing here the other day, and it was like 52 degrees out, and it was snowing. And he says NASA has a patent now to make it snow in warmer temperatures. So it doesn't surprise me. Probably just more weather modification, weather manipulation.
Yeah, a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. I love getting the messages when I make a video, you know, exposing something about HAARP. Like the last video I made was about Hurricane Aaron on 9/11, and all I said was, look, this hurricane does a massive U-turn out of nowhere. This high-pressure dome comes down out of nowhere, and look, fancy-dancy, they can do just that with this little toy they have. And people are like, they don't modify the weather. You're crazy. Really? They've been doing it since the 60s. You know?
Yeah, you look at Hurricane Aaron, it was like Category 4, Category 5, something like that. And it was moving up in a northwest fashion. And then all of a sudden it just takes a jog instantly. And it was right next to New York, essentially off the coast. Remember how the news was downplaying it, Popeye?
There was no news. They didn't. You never heard. You know, they were like, they're out of like 4 reports that morning. There was one that barely mentioned it, and they called it that hurricane that's going away.
Yeah, could you imagine Category 4 moving towards New York, dead towards it, and they don't even report it?
Yeah, that's that. It's unheard of, dude. That's retarded. How did they know it wasn't going to be a problem? How did they know it was going away? How do you know that? You guys can't get these moronic local weathermen can't tell you if it's going to be rainy for the next 3 days or sunshine for the next 3 days. But this guy knows for sure that this huge storm, and it was. I just looked at the statistics on it now. It was a Category 3 hurricane, a very powerful Category 3 with sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. That would have shut the air traffic down in the Northeast Corridor. By the way, for the listeners, I'm not sure why they bounced the hurricane away or why they would.
Maybe it would have took up the news cycle. I was thinking about that, like they wanted to dominate the news cycle with 9/11.
Well, 9/11, as we know it, wouldn't have been able to happen because this hurricane coming in, they would have shut down all a lot of the air traffic in the tri-state area. So those flights would have been diverted, changed, canceled. You know, and people, that doesn't happen. Yeah, it does. Go look anywhere. Look in Florida when a hurricane comes in. Down here in South Florida, a hurricane comes in, they shut down. We have 3 major airports, you know, within like 100 miles of me. You have Miami, you have Fort Lauderdale, and you got West Palm Beach. All 3 of them are shut down. Instantaneously, they'll be like, sorry, we're shut down. They put all the planes in the hangars, they lock everything up, they wait till the storm goes by, and then anything coming in, they divert it, or they cancel flights left and right. And they'll cancel flights for like a 24 or 36-hour period. So they ain't shy about it.
Yeah, yeah. Remember that runway in Florida, that CIA front company, Pegasus, and they had all the UN vehicles on the runway?
Yep.
I was thinking about that. Very, very interesting. Yeah.
There's a lot of spots if you go to Google Earthship, you type in, go to the North or South Pole. There's a huge hole. There's a huge round spot at both the North and South Pole that's blurred out. What's up with that? And they're like, oh, that's just the satellites can't pick it up. Really?
Yeah. And
you expect to believe that?
Yeah, and it's literally blocked. There's a law. It's a treaty. It's called the Data Denial Act. And these satellites aren't allowed to monitor the upper 30 degrees or the lower 30 degrees of the pole of the Earth. And it makes you wonder, well, what do they got going on?
I wonder if Admiral Byrd was right.
Yeah.
They called him crazy, but, he said that he flew into both the South Pole and the North Pole, into holes into the Earth. And
I was talking about that earlier with one of my friends. Yeah, very interesting subject, this hollow Earth subject. I mean, all of these things, you got to take into consideration.
And Byrd was an admiral, by the way. He wasn't like he wasn't some yucked up lieutenant. This guy was an admiral. They gave him. I mean, did you ever see the size of the expedition? They sent an entire expeditionary force out there.
Yeah. They said the president gave him the whole entire Navy at his disposal
for quote unquote a scientific research mission.
Yeah, could you imagine? That would be like sending the whole entire Navy just to do one mission today. I mean, it must have been important.
That would be like sending a carrier group out for a scientific, and I'm doing air quotes, a scientific experiment. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, just Google Admiral Byrd or Bing or whatever search engine you use, Scroogle, doesn't matter. Just look up Admiral Byrd, and you'll see that this guy led expeditions to both the North and the South Pole, paid for by, of course, your tax dollars through the military. And they actually took casualties on the first expedition, the one that went to the North Pole. They took casualties. And I've read some interesting stuff. I shouldn't say I've heard, because that sounds horrible. I've read some interesting accounts, including from people that were up there, veterans that came back, and they said that there was a Nazi base up there. Now, the Nazis did go up there in the 30s, and they found and created what they called New Schwabenland.
Yeah.
Which is New Swabia. It's crazy, dude. When I first heard this, I was like, yeah, right. And I went and looked into it, and I was like, oh my God, this really happened.
Sure. Yeah, I interviewed Brooks Agnew. People could Google Brooks Agnew on the Intel Hub or something like that back in January. And we were talking about all this, and he's planning on heading an expedition up there, taking a nuclear-powered icebreaker up to the North Pole, into the Oceanic Depression, and actually trying to enter the hollow Earth at the North Pole.
Yeah, but we're all crazy conspiracy theorists, right? These guys are actually trying to do this stuff, but we're the crazy ones.
Yeah. No, I know, it makes you wonder, and I was talking about the Oceanic Depression. I mean, this is like well-known, documented type stuff with sailors up on the northern crest of the Bering up there, near Russia. When they're sailing out there, it feels like the ocean's kind of dipping down, and they can't really describe it. It's just a feeling they get. And you have to use things like a sun compass to be able to actually, monitor this type stuff, because of the way the curvature of the Earth works. So it's really interesting, fascinating topic.
It's interesting, and I don't want to say creepy. I would say inspiring. Maybe that's not even the right word. I mean, to know that these top officials in the military back in the late 40s, were saying, hey, there's a hollow Earth and I flew into it. and there's so much stuff that you can't possibly imagine going on. You know, it's not some dude in his boxers in his basement. This is a high-ranking admiral saying this stuff. All right, Shep, we're going to break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Stay tuned. Check out the intelhub.com while we're at break. Federal Jack is down, so go check out Shep's site, the intelhub.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this June 1st, 2011 edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm your overdramatic host, Popeye. Today I'm joined by my good friend Shepard Ambellas from the intelhub.com.
Sure.
And since I've gotten so many questions about this, I will say it now because I always forget to say this. I do have a chat room, folks. A chatting room. Listen to me. I have a chat room. Okay, I'm going to give you guys... I'm going to tell you how to go get there, and then I'm going to queue up our special guest. During the break, we had a special guest caller. I'm going to bring him up in a second. Check out the chat room. It's Delta, Tango, Romeo, Hotel Foxtrot, Juliet, .chatandgo.com. Yes, I spelled it out phonetically. I'll spell it out one more time. Delta, Tango, Romeo, Hotel, Foxtrot, Juliet, .chatandgo.com. That is the chat room for the show. Now,
could you repeat that one more time, please? No.
Just for the retarded people like you, Shepard, for the slow people, and I don't mean if there's any mentally challenged people listening. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I don't want to get emails. I meant retarded, like Shepard retarded. If you have to understand Shepard to know what I mean. Shepard's his own level. Okay, Shepard, during the break, we got a call from somebody that says they're a whistleblower.
Yeah.
So, whistleblower, are you on the line?
Hello there.
So, Mr. Whistleblower.
Oh, you can just call me Whistle.
Okay, well, Whistle, you said you knew some stuff about the Hollow Earth stuff that Shepard and I were talking about.
Well, I don't want to say too much, but right now I'm actually in the Hollow Earth. There is a huge effort to keep this from you, just like they're trying to keep from you the agenda of chemtrails being sprayed in our sky. We know that shows like this are on to that agenda. And in a sense, you guys are a release valve. But the Hollow Earth is a legitimate place. People talk about building bunkers. Well, here in the Hollow Earth, we don't need bunkers. Ha ha ha.
Really?
The whole Earth is a bunker, right?
It's one big bunker.
Wow.
So,
impressive.
Do you guys like hang out with aliens and stuff? Is that your gig?
Well, I'll tell you this. Extraterrestrials may exist.
Oh, gee, you're so vague for a whistleblower. I mean, I would need a little more info. I'm sure my listeners really, they rely on meaty information. This is kind of very vague stuff.
Yeah,
I can't say too much. I don't want to...
What? Do you live in a city in there or something? Do you know the name of it?
A city?
Yeah.
What are we? Useless eater, goyim, sheeple?
I don't know.
Cities are for slaves.
Yes, they are, actually. You know, I've been thinking that too, Popeye, not to cut the guest off or anything, but, they really do have us herded into these things like total sheep. I mean, you know,
that congressman, that one congressman just came out and said, "Get the hell out of the cities if you can."
You know what, whistleblower? Did you see the distraction they're playing today? It's called "Look at My Wiener While I Get You From Behind."
Yeah, I love that the American sheeple can be distracted with a guy named Wiener's Wiener. I mean, come on, get out of here. What are you, a bunch of morons? Ha ha ha, no wonder you don't know about the Hollow Earth. And
You
the
guys get you get cable in the Hollow Earth, TV, media.
We run cable.
Oh, like you do the cabling. Have you ever seen?
No.
Hey, Hollow Earth Whisperer. I have another caller calling in, and it happens to be a good friend of mine. So I'll give you about 20 more seconds, and then I'm going to have to let my friend Bob Tuskin on the radio because
Who the hell is this guy?
Wow, you don't know who Bob Tuskin is?
Do they have the Intel Hub in the Hollow Earth?
I don't know what you're talking about. The Intel Hub is probably just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot deeper aspects of the Black Ops, and whoever this Bob Tuskin schmuck is that you're bringing on the show, well, you better watch out.
Okay.
I'll make sure I pass your message on to him.
Please do.
Thanks for the call. That was weird.
Yeah, right. Let me bring Bob up here on the call. Now, hey, Bob, you there?
Yeah, man. What the heck was that all about?
Bro, did you hear this weirdo calling in? And then he gave you the red ass, as they say.
I know.
What goes up with that?
Told me to watch out. What is this? I mean,
what's up with that?
I have to say that was total
What's up
BS.
with that?
Yeah,
That
sorry
guy-
you were mute. The call. We're playing with our new website call system right now, and I'm learning how to use it, and I couldn't unmute you. I'm lucky.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because I was about to chew that guy out. I mean, what the heck was he talking about? Anybody can use a voice synthesizer and call up a radio show and claim they're a whistleblower.
Right?
But
people do that all the time. I see.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, we've been hearing stories.
Yeah. But anyways, hey, Shep, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man. How you been?
Good, man. I'm a big fan, as you know.
Bob, what do you think about the Hollow theories and Admiral Expedition? What do you what do you think about what you've read?
I tell you, coming from the Jewish family, as you know, that I come from, they talk about never again and having a state to protect their people. And of all places, they chose the Middle East and Israel, probably one of the most provocative places they could choose. And they really should have moved their people, my people, I guess, in a sense, to the Hollow Earth. We know the reptilians are already there. Why not have the Jews join them?
Oh, my God.
Sure.
Well, that's a hell of an answer, Bob.
But the Nazis are already in there.
I mean, that's right.
I guess that would really be a problem, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that create an issue? Because
like
now
a conflict.
You'd have the Nazis and the gray aliens and the reptilians. People say are all working together. And look, okay, listeners, all kidding aside, the reason why we're saying this is because that's some of the theories that are said, that there's aliens and
Which Popeye, by the way, I mean, they are pretty interesting. I know you probably checked into them a little bit, but I mean, you actually look into this stuff, and it sounds crazy, but it's intriguing.
Well, I mean, dude, for real, on the factual side of things, all kidding aside, Admiral Byrd really did, like we were saying, the guy went up there with an expeditionary force, and he said that he personally himself flew into the Hollow Earth at the North Pole and the South Pole. And then the Navy, when he came back, they were like, he's loony.
Yeah.
He was just another in the long line of throwaways. Look what happens whenever, they have these scientists, that when they go along with the picture, everything's okay. And then, David Kelly, you get chucked out of, wasn't he the one that got chucked out of a window, or was he the one that was killed suicide style in the woods? Because there were two of them. I forget which one was which. There was one that got chucked out of a window and another one that got offed in the woods. Both of them happened to be, their specialty was like weapons and weapons inspection. One of them, the one that was in the woods, he had actually gone to Iraq to inspect weapons, and then, he comes home and he gets suicidal. Because that happens all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
People end up suicided all the time.
Well, see, that's why they use certain methods to take people out, because people aren't going to question if someone's killed in like a plane crash. Like I said the other day, when I forget, Bob and I were discussing something, and I was telling him about Paul Wellstone's crash. And I said it was the same thing, they always blame pilot error. And, Wellstone killed in a plane crash. Ted Stevens killed in a plane crash. And I forget the guy's name that was testifying to Congress about, he wrote the code for the Diebold voting machines, about how they could swap the votes and everything inside the source code. He got killed in a plane crash. These aren't coincidences. All right, we're going to break. We'll be right back. We got to pay some bills. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. This is Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm host Popeye, and I'm joined by Bob Tuskin and Shepard Ambellas.
The reasons for the cover-up, the reasons for the censorship. Now I realize that Uncle Sam was not befriending me. He was only using me to be friends with the enemy. A presidential terrorist, ain't that a contradiction? I guess it goes to show the truth is stranger than fiction. But they don't even show the truth when soldiers are missing. I'm only trying to show the truth. Silence is the enemy. Words have power, but actions speak louder. Pretend to be free till you die a slave. A soldier in the desert searching for a ghost in the cave. For the corporation, I run out of patience. Sick of seeing troops sink to die for your lives. Spending dollars in debt, we holler in protest till we have your arrest. We will not rest.
Welcome back to the final segment, Down the Rabbit Hole, first 2011. I'm your host Popeye, and I'm joined by my good friends Bob Tuskin and Shepard Ambellas. And guys, since we only have a short period of time left for today's broadcast, I want to ask you your thoughts on something. Everybody called people like you, Bob, people like you, Shepard, and Alex, myself, Alexander Higgins, and other people, fearmongers for talking about the Fukushima nuclear reaction and the meltdown. Everybody said, oh, don't worry. You're just being crazy, right? Remember?
Well, I do remember some individuals fear-mongering and price gouging.
But do you remember, like, the people, not, notice I didn't name the people that I know who you're talking about, but us, I know that we were attacked, and people like you, especially you guys, Bob, in the Intel Hub, you guys were ragged on for a couple of days because people, and Alexander Higgins too, saying, oh, they're fear-mongering, trying to scare people.
Wait, what did we spend? Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Here's what I want you guys to postulate on. What did TEPCO come out and admit in the past 48 hours? They admitted that they were complete 100% core meltdowns.
Yeah. And we were basically, I was saying that on air. I said basically I could see how they could already be full meltdowns. I mean, you could see.
But you see what I mean? You guys all got ragged on and attacked by people. In fact, there was, Bob, I told you somebody had emailed me the link about attacking a bunch of us for appearing on a conference call, an aired conference call, as it were, talking about it. And you and I were only on for like the last 15 minutes, actually, of the call. There was like a 3-hour call, and there was tons of other people on it. And we kind of got lumped in there and blamed and said, oh, you guys are all of you are crazy. There's nothing wrong. You're just trying to scare people.
I didn't see this. Where was this?
Oh, this was like 2.5 months ago. I'll try to find a link and send it to you. And long story short, I think it's hysterical that they tried to attack everybody. And look, now TEPCO's like, hey, look, there really was a meltdown.
Well,
and by the way, you're going to have 3 eyes.
It's not just that, though. Every single report that we came on the air at the time that this was really breaking, and we, Shep, what did we spend, like 2 weeks on this every single day talking about something nuclear-related?
Sure, we had all the top guys,
experts.
Stanton Friedman, top nuclear physicist, the whole 9 yards.
Well, Stanton Friedman turned out to be a shill on the topic.
Kind of, but I was thinking about it, Bob. He sounded like that, but that's just how these technical people like that's how his mind works. They think that stuff's exciting, they like to toy with nuclear stuff. He was telling me how he used to fly these nuclear planes around. They were flying nuclear black jets around with Scram or Ramjet nuclear engines, and I was just thinking, well, how many of those did you guys crash, and what happened? You know.
Yeah, but every single thing that we reported, Popeye, and the projections of where the plume of radiation was going, all of these things turned out to be validated.
Well, it's like Dutch sense. This kid goes on and he shows you 24 to 48 hours. He shows you harp rings, appearing over these strange rings, and you can see them because of the precipitation. The radar picks it up, and you can see their concentric circles. And he says, look, it's over here, here, and here. You're going to have strong, severe weather in the next 24 to 48 hours. And within 24 to 48 hours, they're having tornadoes. This kid predicted Joplin getting hit with a tornado. He said this whole area, and he mentioned, he's swiping right over Joplin. And he says this whole area is going to get, huge, massive storms. And there's other all over the country. This been going on. It's not like a past week. This has been going on for like a couple months now. And
sure,
at first, everybody thought this kid was nuts.
Well, we've had Scott on from the Believers Underground, who understands the earth changes. He continues to come on every Friday. And also Dutch Sense knows about our stuff. We've invited him on, and he's supposed to be coming on. I read somewhere that he's been meaning to get back to us, and we will get him on eventually. But it's funny that, for all those people out there that were quick to say we're fear-mongering, when at the time we were just trying to be honest. We were just trying to cover what we consider to be news, unlike the blackout that we saw from the mainstream media after a while.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see them talking about it now, do you? I mean, now all of a sudden Michio Kaku goes on Client Number 9 show on CNN, and in case anybody's wondering who Client Number 9 is, that's Elliot Spitzer.
Spitzer, yeah. Okay,
so he goes on Client Number 9 show, and he's like, oh, yeah, we almost lost, most of northern Japan. Openly, it just, TEPCO admits that they almost lost it.
Thank you, Michio Kaku. Last time I checked, you were a theoretical physicist. I mean,
exactly. Well, even if I did want to take what he had to say about it to heart, he's a New World Order shill. So I've seen him shill for the New World Order.
Although he's interesting, though.
Yes, he's a very smart, interesting man. Yeah. But, when it comes down to it, you have to be careful because he can be kind of charismatic. And exactly. He's got that personality that people will buy into. And although some of the information he may be giving you is accurate, there may be BS wrapped up inside of it.
Or it's what he's emitting.
Exactly. Well, what did Sun Tzu say, Bob, with The Art of War? He said, and this is not a direct quote, but it's in there. You have to read The Art of War. I'm going to paraphrase, but the best place to hide a lie is in between two truths.
Yeah.
So if you hide, if I say to you, hey, the sky is blue and the grass is green, but then in the middle I throw some BS in there, you're more likely to believe me because I just gave you two things that are blatantly true. And the news media does that stuff all the time. That's why they have to pick up our stories, because they have to stay relevant. That's why they have to report on that stuff. We're the ones making them do their jobs. Remember 5 years ago? They never reported on any of this. We were all crazy for talking about the Bilderberg Group. Now they have to talk about it. Because if they don't stay relevant, and their history, they're riding our coattails. They're losers. CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, you're all losers. I challenge any of you guys. Me, Bob, and Shepard will gladly take on Glenn Beck, Anderson Cooper.
For crying out loud, we'll take on all those schmucks with a conference call.
We live. I mean,
we got on.
We'll do it live. Let's just do it live.
We got on
like
that
Bill O'Reilly. Do it live.
I'm
gonna do it live. I'm gonna do it live.
We got on that conference call, guys.
I'm gonna do it live.
Do you think, Bob? Do you think you would get a chance to talk on, on that show? You or me or Shepard, the three of us, we'd have to have a moderator that wouldn't cut our mics. We'd have to have some independent thing, put it together, and get because I would gladly debate him.
Fetzer did a good job with his appearance.
Marilyn Manson did a good job with them.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
A couple, but see, I've seen a couple where you start to say something that Bill O'Reilly doesn't like, and he says, "Cut his mic." Cut his mic. He just cuts his mic off, and I think it's, to me, that's being a chicken. Because if I'm you know what, listeners, in case you don't know, we don't, all of us that are in this, we don't always agree on everything 100%, and that's a good thing because...
What do you mean we don't always agree? Yes, we do agree always.
That's right, we're all sheep, I forgot. We all just...
I'm just joking. I was disagreeing because you said we all don't agree.
Well, see, I was agreeing because I was trying to go along to get along. But you see how that was a perfect example of how it works. But no, seriously, we don't agree on everything, but that's good. I wouldn't want. Look, first of all, my opinion may be right and you may be wrong, and I may enlighten you, or I may be wrong and you may be right and you may enlighten me. So
you may be wrong, but you may be right.
Oh God, Bob is breaking into song.
What was that, Billy Joel?
Yes, sir. Look at you go, Bob, with your musical knowledge.
I'm pretty good, yeah.
You should be on American Idol.
I thought about applying for American Idol.
Sneaking in, being like a truth contestant.
What do you guys, yeah, exactly. What do you guys, here, let me do my audition real quick. Bin Laden didn't blow up the projects. It was you. Tell the truth. Bush knocked down the towers. Do you think they'd accept me?
No, I don't. Somehow, I don't think. I think you'd be one of those people that got dragged out and you see in the bloopers reel.
Yeah.
I don't think they would even show that in the bloopers.
Although, I got to give you credit, Bob. You have gotten 9/11 Truth on some mainstream television.
We have. We got Chris Matthews talking all sorts of junk about us, and we got Penn and Teller
specifically talking about you guys, those 9/11 truthers in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was fun. Anyways.
You did a very good job. I'm very proud of you, Bob. Golf clap. Golf clap for Shepard. Guys, give out your websites and stuff and plug your stuff real quick because we got about a minute. So go ahead. Bob.
Tuskin.com. Tuskin.com.
Shepard.
TheIntelHub.com.
And you can listen to Bob every day, well, every Monday through Friday on Oracle, or you can listen to a second hour here on Orion, the Orion Talk Radio Network.
Soon to be both hours because John Watts is boring. Or what's the guy's name? Who's on?
Alan Watt.
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts is cool. I'm sorry.
Guys, thanks for hanging out on my show.
All right.
It's been fun. You guys make the hour go by quick.
Of course.
Listeners, I'll see you guys Friday, 10 to 11 on the Orion Talk Radio Network.
TheIntelHub.com.
It never happens at a convenient time, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I was watching the mainstream today. They got this Wiener guy on there. And, he's supposedly...
question?
Yeah. He's supposedly, maybe got hacked or he Twittered, whatever, who knows. But, I was just weighing in on it, looking at it, and total distraction, total psyop on the media's part because today, of course, they were working on the debt ceiling, all this stuff, and it wasn't getting any coverage on the media. I mean, one of the biggest issues, just nothing, totally blank, and I just thought it was funny watching the psyop unfold and how, that's what we're focused on rather than one of the most important issues, our country itself.
Yeah, man, it's completely fake. It's ridiculous. Who cares if Wiener sent a picture of his wiener to some 20-something-year-old chick? It's not. He didn't break the law. You know, if he's
on this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, It's the guy who's willing to die who's going to win that inch. And I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. There's 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You got to look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're going to see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're going to see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're going to do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And
have his own website that's like Federal Jack on crack, you know, and he teams up with a few other guys, but it's mainly him and one other guy named Alex that, you know, are at the helm, and they do a hell of a job over at the Intel Hub. So check out their website, theintelhub.com. But tonight I'm joined by none other than Mr. Shepard Ambellas. Shepard, say hello.
Absolutely. How's it going, Popeye? What have you been up to?
Trying to recover my sight.
I know. I heard about that. I'm worried. I was wondering where my Federal Jack is.
We're okay. We'll be back stronger than ever. I promise.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks that that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can't predict it. There's nothing you can do, and when it happens, it just goes. And you know, I don't have to tell you. You know, you're the director of the Intel Hub. How many times do you guys have? You know, you guys will have an issue, and it's like, ugh. You know, and then when it's something small, it's very easily fixed. You're back online within a few minutes. But when it's something catastrophic and major, that's usually, you know, that's and it's always when, you know, at the wrong times. You know, I mean, there's never really a good time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. It always happens at the wrong time.
either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen, believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. Either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
Welcome to the show. It is June 1st, 2011. I'm your host, Popeye, from federaljack.com. And before I go any further, I will answer the tons of email and questions I've gotten on Facebook and Twitter right here, right now. Yes, the site has been down for 4 days. We had a server problem. We had a major catastrophic failure. We are fixing it. Hopefully it'll be back up tonight. If not, it'll be back up tomorrow. So I hope that answers the hundreds of emails that I've literally been getting over the course of the first day. Was I got a couple, hey, are you okay? But after it was down for 24 hours, I started getting slammed. So I just wanted to let everybody know I don't have time to email everybody back. So it's just easier to address it right here on the radio right now. We'll be back up hopefully tonight, by tomorrow, I'm told, without a doubt. So fingers crossed. But we will be back, and we didn't lose the info, any of our information, so we should be good to go. Tonight, I'm joined by a good friend of mine who just happens to be a very well-rounded investigator and